It's the Eagle Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi, and welcome to the Forum on Eagle Television. It's good to have you watching along as our guest today, Donna Maskus, is here. She is the Ellis County Clerk and Election Officer here in Ellis County. Donna, good to have you here.
Thank you.
You know, I asked when you walked in if I could vote for something. Can I vote for something today?
Not right now.
But
later on this year, you may.
Later on, because I know you've come up and people have talked. When you hear that every vote counts.
And it does.
And we found that out in the last election. It got down to every vote counted and being able to do that correctly. So tell us a little bit about the clerk's job. How does that relate, and why are you in charge of elections? I mean, how's that process work?
Gary, because the Kansas statute, the laws of Kansas says the county clerk will be the election officer, except in 4 of the major counties in the state, like Johnson, Wyandotte, Sedgwick County. They're, have their own election officials.
So across the state, except for those great big counties, whoever is the county clerk is in charge of all the elections.
Yes.
So even in the little counties where the votes count and some of them are handwritten, all of that, in our case, we found out in our state representative race that it got down to just some very few votes to decide the winner and loser. And across the state, there have been some other issues as well. So with that being said, the option, your name came up to be on this program. It's like, yes, because there's some new things you have going on. Initially, you had the paper ballots.
Yes.
Do people still like the paper ballots?
I would say so, but the machines, which are Ivotronic machines, which are no longer in Ellis County, I think they were faster and voters were comfortable with them. And we had proven that they were working, they were operating. They were older machines, they were 13 years old, but they still calculated the correct votes. We did lots of testing, and we want to make sure the voters comfortable with that too. But now we are having new election equipment delivered this Thursday. I'm very, very excited.
Not everybody gets excited with new election equipment, new gears coming in. So I know that's one of the reasons, 2 reasons. One, you have new election things, so when people walk in, they'll see something new. But you also have a cool website that we're going to talk about too.
Definitely.
So first off, next time to vote will what be, this fall?
Okay, that is a good question. Some of the elections have changed with Kansas laws. And we have a city school elections, but also improvement districts. We have 4 improvement districts. You have to live in that district. You have to be a taxpayer and a resident to vote in those elections. But there are smaller areas outside the county. I mean, outside the cities, I should say.
So you'll put these in these new election devices. What do you call them?
I don't know exactly.
There's different names.
There's different names.
The new election devices that you're going to be able to vote on, the electronic voting machines.
Yes.
Those will come in, so you'll have between now and whenever the next election is to really set that up.
And that is really November the 6th or November the 5th.
Okay.
But we have filing deadline next Monday at noon on June the 3rd. If we have in the positions, if you have 3 times plus 1 position more than the positions available, then you have to have a primary election. Right now it doesn't look so, but there's a lot of time before next Monday at noon.
Yeah, to see what's going on. So when this program's airing, we may already have an answer on that, but it's going to be cool to see when those elections come up to be able to. Okay, let's talk about the new machine. Old one's 13 years old. Said in my notes they were decades old. I'm decades old, but those are only 13 years old. But frankly, technology, you look back 13 years ago, I'm not even sure an iPhone was around 13 years ago, so that technology is certainly dated. Tell us about the new machine.
Well, first I want to tell you why we're getting new machines is the Kansas legislature passed a law that stated that we had to do post-election audits. What's that mean? It starts effective 2019. Every election that we have, the Secretary of State's office will tell us which offices that we have to bring in another counting board that will count those and make sure the tabulations are correct before the canvass. So it's going to be extra busy.
So even the machines are going to have to go through and retabulate everything on the machines as well.
And what it is, I should say, you're going to go in and vote a paper ballot. And then you're going to put it in our machine, our ballot scanner, and it's going to show that it's tabulating that. It's going to count that one ballot. So you know that ballot is tabulated right away. So at the end of the evening, there's a device that we will take out of that machine. We have 9 polling sites. Bring them into our office at 718 Main. We'll put them in, and it'll tell us, we can run all these reports showing the results.
Interesting. So, in other words, there's actually going to be a paper ballot that actually then shoots through the machine that will do all the tabulating then.
Right. Now, we, at each polling site, according to Kansas law, we have to have, for anybody that is handicapped, we have ADA machines. So we will have one of those machines at every poll site, and they'll have different devices on it with the different needs of a handicap. And so we will have those available too. But that will be a paper ballot too. It'll shoot out a paper ballot.
So the state decided we're going to do this. We have to have that tabulation.
Well, the tabulation, the law.
old machines wouldn't work anymore anyway. Technology or not, you couldn't do that with that.
Right. That is the real reason we were looking.
Now, well, that it seems like this, but you'd think electronic everything just shoots out a number, who wins, who loses. But this sounds to me like when all of them come back, it'll speed up that process.
The only process is if for some reason one ballot would not go through the machine. And I don't see that happening too much at all. It shouldn't, because we're going to go through testing after testing before we put those on election day.
And so what about people that vote early? They have to be out of town, they travel, they just like voting early versus that day. To me, it seems kind of patriotic to go there on voting day, sign up, see all your friends, and do that, then go vote. What about those that vote early and people that send in their mail?
Right. The voter has different options in voting. A qualified voter has different options. And so they can, the books will close October 15th for the November 6th election, and advanced voting will start in the office on October 21st on a Monday, up until the day before election at noon. So, and we have a lot of people vote advance.
Now, will they have the same paper ballot that then
will.
they shove through a machine?
They'll have those same machines that you will at the poll site.
You know, the other thing that this process does, it does have a paper record of everybody that does it.
Definitely. Yeah. And another feature that I really like about the vendor that the Board of Commissioners gave me support in purchasing the equipment was that it's going to run out all write-ins. So if I write in a candidate, it's going to print that out. And then my reconciliation board at the election night will be able to view those. And so we'll have all that available at hand.
Well, it's certainly going to be a little change and may speed up the whole process.
Well, in
you
time,
look
I think
happy
it will.
about this. You look happy about this.
I am. And I visited with other county election officers that have already gone with this equipment. This equipment has probably been one of the popular ones that has been purchased with through several counties. And they said, Donna, you're going to love it. It's going to be a slick, smooth process.
Now, one of the things when you search for this type of unit versus others, you cooperate and communicate a lot with other election officials, don't you?
We are a good support team.
When you come up, you know, I know Johnson County had some trouble with that, but theirs was complicated, I know, in several ways.
And just for their county,
What do you learn from those kind of things?
Oh, we learn a lot, because like I said, we are a big support of one another. And, you know, learning what other counties are going through is a big help to us, because then we might have the same situation, or we might have a question we can put out there, you know, through our association website and find some answers too. So it's a great support.
Well, you were showing me some stuff that, you know, again, things that you're doing to grow and help people learn. You have a cool new website that has some things. Tell me about your website, and because I know people watching right now are going, well, I'm going to vote. It's going to be 6 months down the road.
Sure.
But when they get to that point, it's pretty cool. You showed me some of the neat features that it has. So let's go through kind of what it does. When you log on, where do you go first to get to that website?
It is lsco.net.
lsco.net, okay.
And it's the Ellis County website, so it has lots of information, not just election information. You can get minutes, agendas of the commission meeting. In fact, you can even go through on YouTube and actually see the meeting live.
Cool.
And taped, you know, later on too. So there's been big advantages for that. But anyway, there's so much information on the website. You put your name in, your address, then it's going to show your voting history. I was sharing with you on my voting history. It'll show you where your poll site is. And I just think the information is so interesting.
So are those some of the questions you get when people say, hey, where's my poll site? Even though they've been to the same site forever, it's still like, where do I go for doing this? So do you get that as a common question, or what do you think when people say?
There are a few, but most once you get used to your poll site. You know, once they register, they only have to re-register to vote if they change their name or they move, change their address. Otherwise, you do not need to re-register.
So once you register when you're 18, you get registered, now you're on the record forever. And your history is interesting, so if you've been out there, you vote, you can take a look at, it doesn't say who you voted for.
No,
it says what elections you voted in.
And their date of that election, so, you know, it shows if you've been an active voter, or, you know, if you're only voting in city, school elections, or just maybe in state elections. And I will share with you too, we're going to have a special constitutional question put on by the state of Kansas on this election. This is city school, and we have 3 home schools that we have, you know, 432, 49, and 388. But we have 6 additional school districts that comes in, their border comes into Ellis County. So we have to make sure that we have, you know, the correct ballot information for the qualified voter. So this election takes a little bit more, I would say, over the years with experience. I mean, it's fun, but you've got to make sure you've got the ballots correctly.
You know, one of the things that's what people want. Even though the outcome may not be what they want to know that it was done right, counted correctly, and it was fair to everybody. And
definitely.
You know, one of the things I see the direction it's going, by having those ballots, you can always go back to those original ballots, that scan to do that, double check if you need to do that. And in today's world, it seems like there's a lot more of those 50-50 ones. Back to, where was it, in Florida, where they had the hanging chad?
Oh, yeah.
Trying to determine
we never had the hanging chads.
We don't want that. This sort of eliminates all those question marks when they go through and do that. Donna, we're going to take a break here. We're going to come back and wrap things up.
Very good.
Donna Maskus, who is our Ellis County clerk and election official, back with more after this.
Hi, Scarlett here, and Eagle Radio Pays is sending me back to Branson September 9th through the 12th on a comfy Village Tours bus. See the fall foliage, hit the casino, and catch a roll at Lambert's Cafe. We are scheduled to see these great shows: Samson, The Hay Goods, The Acrobats of Shanghai, Clay Cooper's Music Show, The Branson Bell Cruise and Lunch Show. Singles, couples, join me September 9th through the 12th. All this for only $798. Call me at 301-2211 to reserve your seat now.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
Eagle Communications is your ultimate business partner. We provide business class phone with customizable features and fast, reliable internet. Your knowledgeable team at Technology Solutions has a broad base of IT services to meet your needs. Let the experts at Marketing Solutions get your message to the right people on the best platforms. The only piece missing is your business. Call Eagle Communications today at 877-61-EAGLE.
Welcome back to the second half of our Forum Show here on Eagle Television. Donna Maskus is our guest. If you have any ideas, good suggestions for future programs like this one, let me know. Send me a note at gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. You can also find us on Facebook under ECTV Forum. Look us up there. You'll see a list of our programs. You'll also be able to find us on Hayes Post as well and look at some past programs. Donna Maskus is our guest. She's our Ellis County clerk, and she's also our head of our election official that takes care of elections in Ellis County. And what seems like a pretty simple task, we were just looking at all the different cities in Ellis County that have elections, all the people that go into that, and we've just come off the Memorial Holiday where we talk about service to our country and people that have done amazing things. We have people that volunteer to step up and get voted on, which is not an easy task. And yet you were showing me the list. There's positions in some of our communities and some of the areas that really no one stepped up to say, I'll help lead. And that's an important part of being a citizen, an important part of being involved.
Right. And I will share with you the candidates, the filing deadline is this coming Monday on June the 3rd at noon. So if they're interested in getting involved in city school, if you're in the improvement district, and a new one this year, we just went with the Cottonwood Extension District, number 17 with Barton County. Ellis County voters will get to vote on 2 people. There's 2 positions to vote on there. So that'll be a new thing.
So if you didn't get in on this time, make sure you think about that, you know, and say, hey, how can I be involved to be a part of this process? And I do know one thing, after looking through your notes, what you're doing, you're going to do a good job of counting the votes, too. Is that part of it?
We will. We will. I have a great staff and great volunteers that step up to the plate being an election board worker.
Well, it takes good volunteers. I know I see the crew that volunteers. Are those all volunteers, or do they get paid a little bit?
They get paid a little bit.
It's kind of a token amount, I know, to be able to sit there and be able to take and make sure the voters are correct and the right people, right location, right address.
Right.
I will say, you mentioned something earlier. You have to be a qualified voter.
Yes.
And what does it take to do that, just for somebody out there? What's it take to be a qualified voter?
Okay, you need to be 18 by the next election.
Okay.
You need to be a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
And you fill out a Kansas voter registration card. Currently, we have 18 locations in Ellis County that you can register to vote. And that'd be the city offices, the library, the county health department, our office, and some others.
Well, I know it's one of those things you can't do last minute.
No, you've got before the books close. And, you know, so 21 days prior to election day, the books close.
So be advanced, get that done. Don't expect things to happen at the last minute. And Donna, you mentioned that website. Tell us again the website, because you have just a ton of information there that people may have asking about voting, what the new machines are like, where you go vote, and what you have voted on in the past. That's interesting as well. So where do you go to find that?
It's just Ellis, ELLISCO.net. Or our phone number is 785-628-9410.
And you're pretty easy to find. I bump into you down at the county offices downtown. You nice new facilities there in what used to be the old Commerce Bank building.
That's right.
And you have great facilities. They can find you there. And if you have any questions, just stop by and ask, because I think you'd rather have questions than to have people out.
Oh yes, we want to answer the questions. Right. Be glad to help anybody that has any election equipment or questions. And the new equipment will probably, well, and the new equipment is going to be fun for everybody. It's going to stir up some new questions, I'm sure.
Now, is that something you're going to have set up in advance for people to go look at, or will there be a chance? Maybe on one of the programs we ought to have one with us to show.
Okay, we might have to do that.
We might have to have one of those machines. Take a look at it and see how that works, and even how the new documents will look, because it's going to be, like you say, back to the paper, but then you'll scan them through and run them through the machine for the vote. How fun.
It is, it is.
Donna Maskus is our guest. She's the Ellis County Clerk and election official for Ellis County. Thank you for watching the forum. Donna, thank you for being here as well.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you. It's fun.
Yeah.
Donna Maskus is our guest here, and the forum is brought to you by Eagle Communications and by Hayes Med. Thanks for watching.